Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, I'll be reviewing the king of the Broncos, which also happens to be the king of depreciation. Before we get into this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Warner Ineos for giving me some time with this Bronco Raptor. I'll include a link to the website in the description down below so you can check out what they have currently. I'll also include a link to my car buying guide as well. Let's get into it. So under the hood we have a turbo 3-liter V6 that goes through a 10-speed. It puts out 418 horsepower and then 442 pound-feet of torque. Before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So the Bronco Raptor, this is a vehicle that I owned for a short period of time because it frankly fell short of my expectations, but it's still a really cool vehicle. I mean, first off, look at this thing. You got this crazy power dome there at the top. You've got the Broncos signature front end with the Ford logo, this super aggressive front bumper, tons of ground clearance. You can see the skid plate protection underneath as well. Really aggressive looking rig, 37-inch tall tires from the factory. Yeah, the fender flares look a little bit dorky because they're really big, and on this particular one they're unpainted, which I actually don't have a problem with. And then on top of that we've got Fox shocks, live valve, independent front suspension just like other Broncos. You've got rock rail protection, and I mean, look at this thing, it's a tank. It just looks like a monster truck in real life. It's really crazy. And here's a better look at the shocks that come with the Bronco Raptor. Really cool setup. And then around the back here, so you got the swing gate, just like a Wrangler, which is really cool. Tons of storage back there, by the way. And then you got the unique taillights, and because this is a Raptor, you got marker lights there on the tire. The other one's on the mirror cap, by the way. And then the interior on the Raptor is actually really cool. You have this nice trim here in the door panel, and then this one has the upgraded seats. It's really kind of like a sports car seat in a way. And then same thing up front with the door panel trim, and then with the bucket type seats. I think it's fun. And then getting in, you got to step up a bit, but it ain't bad. It's pretty cool with the full digital gauge cluster. Other Broncos have like a partially analog gauge, so this is full digital. It's got paddle shifters like a Raptor, because it is Raptor. Got the marker there at the top. And then I think this is actually pretty cool with the stitching at the top. And then it's got front rear locking diffs. It's got a stabilizer bar disconnect as well. And then we've got a 360 camera system, dual zone climate, heated seats. And then we've got our GOAT mode select. So you get a bunch of different off-road and on-road drive modes, an advanced four-wheel drive system on top of that. And you've got trail control, which is like your off-road cruise control. Plenty of Raptor logos inside, by the way. Gotta have lots of those. There's another one on the seat. And then it's got a bunch of auxiliary switches for different items. That first one's tied into the fog light. And then, yeah, it's just like a Wrangler where you can take the top off, so convertible fun. Let's talk about the pricing before we take it out. So this originally stickered for about $100,000 for this spec because this is like a fully loaded one. Ford increased the price in the 23s at the end of the line. This is going for mid-70s now. So $25,000 in depreciation over the course of, there we go, 11,000 miles and 1 year. Insanity. Ooh, it is windy down here. Pretty close to the Great Salt Lake, and so you get lake winds. It's always fun. So, Bronco Raptor. I will talk about, you know, some stuff from the perspective of an owner, because I did own one of these for a little bit of time, and I waited a long time to get one, and like I said, it just didn't live up to expectation. So, first off, this thing is really cool still. Like, it's kind of like a, kind of reminds me of a Razor in some ways. It's got that like crazy travel that Raptors are known for, and so you just go over bumps, it doesn't even care. Which makes it fun on road in a lot of ways. And the steering is precise. Again, independent front suspension helps out with that. Electric rack as well. And it's got pretty good torque with this powertrain. I think this V6 is no slouch. Now, a few things that I don't like about the Bronco Raptor with daily driving: it's huge, super wide, so fitting in places isn't always the easiest. And there's quite a bit of wind noise. Again, it's box, so you expect that. Quite a bit of tire noise, 37s. Again, you expect that. Just comes with the territory. And the engine's pretty peaky. This would have been way better with the 3.5. And even a 5.0 V8 would have been really cool in the Bronco Raptor. But, you know, Ford decided to put the dinky little 3.0. They should still do a Bronco Raptor R. I think that would be fun. I think it'd be a cool vehicle. But either way, it's so, I mean, for what it is, it drives pretty well. And it's, I like the daily driving characteristics of this more so than the regular Bronco for the most part. I do think the wild track though is probably the sweet spot with the Broncos. So now let's get into why this thing has depreciated $25,000 in only a year and 11,000 miles. Like, that's painful depreciation, right? So I think there's a few reasons. The first reason just comes down to the general economy, right? This is gonna be in any of these videos that I'm talking about depreciated cars. Like, the economy is not in a great place. Go look at the jobs report they just released, where they, you know, found out that there are literally almost 1 million fewer jobs than they thought there were. So we got that going on in our country, run by a bunch of clowns. But yeah, you've got that part of it, and then you have the part of greed, and I will call it greed. So what Ford saw is that dealerships were asking over MSRP for Bronco Raptors. Not every single dealer, but a lot of them. So Ford goes, we want the money, give us the money. So they decided to increase the MSRP price to where the dealers are marking up the Bronco Raptors. And they kept doing that until they got up to the prices right now where these are $100,000. But here's the thing is, that was a temporary market condition. That wasn't the market on the Bronco Raptor. And other manufacturers have fallen prey to this as well. Stellantis is kind of like the poster child for that. But yeah, it's happening with Ford with this, the regular Raptor too. It's just, it's the world we're in. And the Raptor R, you know, all of their specialty products just too darn expensive compared to the value that it provides, what it offers. And so that's really, you know, the biggest reason as to why this is struggling so much on resale value is the MSRP is just too high. The original MSRP in the Bronco Raptor was like 70-ish, and then loaded up it was over 80. Now it's almost 100, so its MSRP is literally increased by like $20,000 since it first came out. And it hasn't been out for that long. It came out in 2022. This is the thing about these crazy price increases from automakers is, like, increasing the price in a car by 20 grand over the course of 2 years is nonsense. So yeah, of course the market's not going to like it, and of course the used ones are going to depreciate, and the new ones aren't selling. I can tell you that right now. Nobody's buying a new Bronco Raptor because it's too expensive. So realistically, this should be an $80,000 MSRP car. And in that case, I still think that it would sell for this used, right? It would still be in the mid-70s because Raptors have always held their value pretty well. Ford just got a little bit too greedy, and, well, the chickens have come home to roost, right? But yeah, overall the Bronco Raptor is great. And I guess I forgot to talk about my ownership experience. The reason why it disappointed me so much is it wasn't as good off-road. Here, I'll do a little loop here while I talk about this. It wasn't as good off-road as I expected. It's really good at like the 20-30 mile an hour range. Above that, it's unstable. Below that, it's so big that you don't fit down anything. So it's like below 20 miles an hour, you'd rather be in a Wrangler. Above 20 miles an hour, sorry, above 30 miles an hour, you'd rather be in an F-150 Raptor. So it has this weird, very narrow band where the Bronco Raptor is so good, and it's so good. But outside of that, it just kind of sucks because it's really big and it's got a short wheelbase, and so it's not stable at high speeds. But then because it's big, it doesn't fit down in places. And I mean, that's ultimately why I traded in. Is I was really impressed the first time I took one of these off-road in Colorado because I was going 20-30 miles an hour down that trail. And then when I, you know, come and do the Utah off-roading with my own Bronco, I realized that it's just not that good. And then I had the electrical stuff where it just glitched out off-road, and it's like, I didn't want to deal with it anymore. I'm like, I don't want to deal with Ford's electrical BS, and it's unstable, and it's like, yeah, I kind of felt like it was truly a jack of all trades and master of none, and in the worst possible way off-road. So I traded for one of the, here at the Ineos dealership, I traded for a Grenadier. And I can tell you so far, I've enjoyed that way more than the Bronco Raptor off-road, because guess what? Every single time I press the diff lock buttons, they work. And when I turn them off, they work. and it doesn't give me a computer glitch and say drive mode unavailable and all that kind of stuff, because it doesn't really have drive modes. It's more simplistic. So that's kind of my thoughts with the Bronco Raptor situation. So I think this will be a great car to buy used like this, but brand new, unless Ford lowers the price by a substantial margin, which they aren't going to. What they're going to do is they're just going to do what every other manufacturer is doing right now, keep the price the same, and then just basically offer new packages, new quote-unquote exciting stuff. And then eventually they'll think that things will catch up, but good luck with that. That's all.